If you've had your computer for a while, you might notice it doesn't run quite as fast or smooth as it did when it was brand new. This can be for a lot of different reasons, but the good news is there are things you can do to restore some of that efficiency. Let's give your system a tune-up using some convenient built-in tools. The first thing to note is these tools work on one partition at a time. You'll get the most benefit from this tune-up by working on the drive partition that has your operating system. This is almost always the C drive, which is the drive I'll demonstrate with. Start by opening File Explorer. Click the folder icon in the taskbar, or press the Windows key and E keys at the same time. When File Explorer opens, right-click the drive letter you'd like to work on, then click Properties in the context menu. While here, you can also check your disk space to see if you're approaching your limit. You'll very likely start experiencing poor performance from your computer if the free space in your operating system drive is 10% or less of your total capacity, so it's important to manage this using these tune-up tools. The first tool we'll talk about is Disk Cleanup. Disk Cleanup helps delete unnecessary files from your system folders and other locations to recover drive space. Clicking Disk Cleanup here will scan the partition for files it can safely delete from your system and present you with what it finds. You might ask at this point, what are these files that it's finding, and how does it know I can delete them? The answer requires looking a little deeper at how your computer and programs work. As you use your computer to do work, browse the internet, or play games, most of these programs create temporary files called cache files. The most common purpose for cache files is to store data that your program knows it will be using repeatedly. Instead of recalculating or re-downloading the same data over and over, it can just look it up in the cache files, which allows the program to run faster, a lot faster in some cases. However, programs aren't as good at discarding the cache files that they don't need anymore. Since they continuously make new cache files and the vast majority of your programs work this way, these cache files can eventually take up enough space to slow the general operations of your computer down. Disk Cleanup is a tool to remove these cache files. It can also clean up operating system files that are no longer needed if you grant it access by clicking Clean Up System Files here. This will rescan and include those system files. The tool will categorize the types of data it can clear, as well as how much space will be recovered by deleting that data. You can mark the checkboxes for every category you'd like to delete, click OK, then confirm permanently deleting the data to begin. You'll then see a progress bar as the files delete, and the tool closes automatically when it's done. Your programs will simply rewrite the cache files they were using, and you'll have the space back from the ones they were not. Another cause of performance issues with a computer are disk errors. These can be logical errors, like corrupted or mismatched data, or physical errors, like data that wasn't written to the disk clearly, or damaged sectors that can't be read or written to anymore. The Check Disk tool scans your drive for both of these types of errors and fixes whatever it can automatically. Click the Tools tab in the Properties window, then click the Check button under Error Checking. Your computer will show if it has detected any errors during regular operation, but even if it hasn't, you can still perform a scan by clicking Scan Drive here. If it does find errors, you may have to set it to perform fixes after the next reboot. Your computer may not have access to certain sectors while the operating system is running, but it can fix issues after a reboot before the operating system starts. The other tool on this tab is the Optimize and Defragment tool, which you can access by clicking Optimize here. This tool rarely needs to be run manually in modern Windows systems, as it works automatically on a set schedule, but it can still be helpful to know what this is and when using it might be a good idea. Optimizing and defragmenting are two different functions with essentially the same goal of speeding up your computer. As long as you're running Windows 7 or newer, your computer decides which one to do to your disk depending on what type of hardware it is. Defragmenting works on hard disk drives, sometimes called HDDs, which are the more traditional drive type for laptops and desktops. These drives have a spinning disk in them, and the data on the disk can become spread out and disorganized after some time, just from normal use. This is called fragmentation. Defragmenting a hard disk drive will reorganize this data so your computer can read from it more efficiently. Solid-state drives, or SSDs, are increasingly popular since they're faster and use less energy due to not having any moving parts. SSDs benefit very little from defragmentation, if at all, and it can actually wear them out faster. But they can benefit from optimization. While old data on a hard disk drive can be directly overwritten with new data, SSDs must physically erase the space first, which could also slow a computer down. Optimization detects when data still physically written to the disk has actually been deleted and sends what are called trim hints to the SSD so it can more efficiently manage cleaning up that space. The Optimize and Defragment tool will check all your drives and report if any of them could benefit from running it. Another tip for keeping your PC tuned up is making sure your operating system and software are up to date. Windows Update will make sure you have the latest system drivers and components developed to increase efficiency and decrease errors that can cause sluggish performance and other problems. The easiest way to run Windows Update is to click the Windows search box in the taskbar, type Check for Updates, and click Check for Updates in the results. When Windows Update opens, click the Check for Updates button. With specific applications, updating those can help as well. That process can be different depending on the application, so you may have to refer to their documentation or knowledge base for guidance. Another thing you can do is uninstall any programs that you're not using. Programs take up space on your computer and sometimes use small bits of resources, even if you're not working in them. To uninstall a program, click once again in the Windows search box and type Remove Program, then click Add or Remove Programs in the results. This opens PC settings and will display a list of programs and program add-ons currently installed to your PC. Another word of caution here: before uninstalling anything you don't recognize, be sure to research it first. It may be a critical component to a program that you are still using, and uninstalling will cause issues. There will likely be many system components in this list that you don't directly interact with but are still important to keep. If you see something that was installed by you or another user on your machine, and it's no longer in use, those are safe to remove. Just click them in the list, then click the Uninstall button to remove them. To recap, the best way to get your PC running efficiently again is to resolve any unused data and errors using disk cleanup, check disk, and possibly optimize and defragment. Keep your system and software up to date using Windows Update. And remove any programs you don't need anymore using Add or Remove Programs. Giving any sluggish PC a tune-up using these tools should give it a healthy boost and get it running much better.